Hi, this is Ellen Brock, editor at Keytop Inc. In this video, I'm going to talk about ways that you can make your novel shorter. There are a lot of reasons you might want to make your novel shorter. An agent or an editor might have told you that your novel is too long or that it needs to be tighter. It's also possible that you've realized independently that your novel's length is too long for the genre. This is particularly common for novels that are over 100,000 words. It can be a very, very hard sell for a debut author. So if your book is too long and you need to cut it down, here are some ways to do that. So to make your novel shorter, we're going to look at the big picture, and then we're going to work our way down to smaller scale issues. So with the big picture, look at each chapter and each scene within each chapter and determine whether or not that scene is making the plot move forward. It's easy to do this if you just make a list, write down every chapter and every scene in the chapter, and then write down how it moves the plot forward. You might find that there are lots of scenes that are not moving the plot forward. They might be giving character information or backstory, but they're not really doing anything in the way of pushing the plot. Those things can easily be eliminated. Take the relevant information, the information that has to be in the book, and move it to a different scene, a scene that is moving the plot forward. The other thing that you want to do is look for repetition. The reader only needs to know things once. Even if the character doesn't know it, unless it's a plot point for the character to find out the information, we don't need to see the character obtain the information. So, for example, if you've explained something in narration, you don't want to explain it again in dialogue unless that revelation to the other character is a plot point. So you can eliminate a lot of extra words by getting rid of these types of repetition. You can also look for thoughts that are repeated too frequently. Sometimes people will reiterate the character's motivation too many times so that it becomes repetitive. We don't need constant introspection, so that might be an area where you can cut back a little bit or simplify. After you're sure that the scene or the chapter is required for the book, consider whether or not you could start the scene later or end the scene sooner. It's always a good idea to start and end things as tightly as possible to keep your scenes short and exciting. The longer you draw it out, the less exciting it's going to be and the more words you're going to use. On an even smaller level, look at details within the chapter that might not be necessary. Maybe there are a lot of gestures or a lot of movements that aren't really needed, or maybe the dialogue is taking longer to happen than it really needs to happen, or maybe with explanations in dialogue, the explanation could be more concise, or some of the information could be inferred rather than directly told. Sometimes as writers we can get a little carried away with details and descriptions that aren't really needed, so make sure that you go through your sentences and consider, does the reader really need this information? Is this really helping convey the story that I want to tell? And if there's anything in there that you feel like you can cut and the reader won't notice it, go ahead and cut it. Even if it's the most beautiful line you've ever written, go ahead and cut it. You'll save yourself a lot of words and you'll have a tighter, more compact story. So those are some ideas on how to make your novel shorter. If this video was helpful to you, I'd really appreciate it if you could like or share the video. It helps me get clients, which helps me continue to make videos. And if you have any topic ideas, or if you're looking for a freelance editor, feel free to send me an email, ellenbrock@keytopservices.com. Thanks!